Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm going to talk about 12th house synastry. And I will in other videos go more into each individual planet. In this video I'm just going to talk about some general themes of 12th house synastry overlays, because this is one that people are Googling, people are looking for answers, because it can be quite confusing. It can be, even at times, sort of debilitating with the amount of emotions and unconscious stuff that is brought up when we have someone's planets falling into our 12th house, or we have our planets falling into someone else's 12th house. So firstly, I'm just going to say that in order to know if you are falling into someone's 12th house or someone is falling into your 12th house, you do need to have an accurate birth time or a somewhat accurate birth time, because the houses are set up in the birth chart based on the time of birth. So if you do not know someone's time of birth, you're not going to know if you are falling into their 12th house. You may still be able to know if they are falling into yours, though, if you know your birth time. Now, that's kind of a basic thing to say, but I just had to start off by saying it just in case, some people do not realize what this actually is. So, the 12th house represents our unconscious, our subconscious dreams, parts of ourselves that are actually even hidden to ourselves. So it can really, when someone's planets are falling there, it can show that this person is bringing up things in you that you maybe didn't even realize were there. And, depending on the state of your natal 12th house, what sign it's in, what planets you maybe have there in your own natal chart, will depend on, if this will be comfortable or if this will be extremely difficult. And also the amount of work that you've done on yourself in, uncovering your own unconscious stuff will really play a role. Just for example, so I have Saturn in my 12th house, in Pisces. So that's sort of a more uncomfortable energy to have in your 12th house. Not that anything is comfortable there, although Venus does tend to do well there, actually. But so before, I had done a lot of deep unconscious work, like hypnotherapy. I'm a hypnotherapist, and I'd done tons of hypnotherapy. Before I had done that on myself, like all of those hypnosis sessions, when people fell into my 12th house, it was far more uncomfortable than when they fall into my 12th house now, because I've dealt with some of those past life fears, and I've, really healed myself on a deep unconscious level. So now when people fall into my 12th house, it's not so scary. So that's the first thing I'm going to mention, is that when there are 12th house overlays, sometimes this can bring up a sense of fear in people. And the reason for that is because the contents of the 12th house are unconscious and unknown. And a lot of people have a fear of the unknown, right? So when someone's planets are lighting up that area for you, being around them, it can feel fearful. It can feel destabilizing, like they make you uncomfortable. They kind of make you feel more insecure depending on the contents of your 12th house and what is there. They can make you more aware of things that maybe you didn't even know were there, like unconscious fears, insecurities, fears of death, fears of the unknown. All of these, human fears that we all have in some way, shape, or form are being brought up by this person, right? Now that's, of course, a more negative manifestation, and this does not have to be negative at all. This can be very beneficial. This is considered a karmic connection. This is considered a past life connection as well. So the other thing that it can bring up is a sense of knowing each other from a past life, or knowing each other from a dream. Like when you meet someone and it's just like, all the butterflies and this like eerie, that's a good word for it. It's an eerie sense of knowing this person before, or that this is a soulmate, or that this is a soul contract, or this is a karmic lesson. There's this eerie feeling that this is really something. And you might not even be able to put words to it. You know, this is the kind of relationship where you're like, I don't know what it is, but like this person is triggering me in a massive way. And, you know, if it's a love tie, they're triggering this feeling of like this deep soul connection it's beyond this realm. Like maybe we lived on another planet together in a past life or something. It's so ancient, it's so deep, it's so ethereal, and even potentially confusing. The feelings that get brought up. The feelings that get brought up with the 12th house synastry can be so strong, like stronger than any other relationship, because in a sense, the 12th house is the deepest part of who you are. Like that, the part of you that is even deeper than your conscious mind can even rationalize. It's like your past life self, your karmic heritage, your lessons, your unconscious, your dreams, right? So this is a very strong connection. Not surprised this video was requested for me to do. Another thing that could come up here that would be on the more positive side is that the bond can feel deeply spiritual and very emotionally connected if we can get past the fears and the triggers that come up probably first. What can actually happen with this, if someone is falling in your 12th house, say with their sun or moon or something, or Venus or anything, right? Well, I'm going to go into the other planets in other videos. So what can actually happen is this feeling like they know your deepest self, and that can create a feeling of intimacy that is beyond, any of the other house overlays. Intimacy. The 8th house is also can be very intimate. So whenever we're having the water houses, 4th, 8th, and 12th, the emotions are being very stirred in the house person, but also in the planet person, because that's like where they're being housed, right? Like, so I feel like it actually affects both people in that way, because we have the planet is going into that area. So that's like holding them, like they're in the womb of the 12th house, if that makes sense. And so their moon or their sun or whatever planet it is being contained in there. So that's like the energy they're getting as well from the person. And then the planet person is being activated in the area of that house. They're being lit up there. They're being fired up there. So yeah, with this connection, it can end up being one of the most deep, intimate connections of your entire life. And it can be totally unforgettable. And it can switch from that feeling of that eerie, almost scary or triggering feeling of what is going on to like, wow, this person knows me better than anyone. They know me better than I know myself. And they can be some of the greatest healers and teachers for us. And there's nothing superficial about this bond. And that can end up being a very beautiful, deep soul tie. And yeah, of course, this is part one of many, because there's much more to say, but I'll leave it at that for now. That is some of the energy and essence of 12th house synastry overlays. And I'd love to know your experiences below. How did you feel this one? What planets of theirs are in your 12th house, or what planets of yours are in their 12th house? Let's talk about it. I love to hear your guys' experiences. Okay, love you guys. Bye.